So what we're going to talk about in this video is the state of the recruitment sector currently, the last year, and moving into 2024. So the question will be, will recruitment look good in 2024? It hasn't been great in 2023, but 24 could be good. So I've been looking at some data, I've been looking at the redundancy figures, etc. So it's usually when there's low unemployment, recruitment typically does well. Yeah. So basically, companies are struggling to find candidates. Now there has been an influx over the last, I would say, 3 to 6 months, especially in like the tech sector. There's been redundancies for the last 9 months. So a higher level of people are coming onto the job market than before, meaning companies might try and hire themselves and not use professional agencies. Yeah. That was a state of the last 6 to 9 months. At the moment, we're currently, if we use tech as an example, redundancies were up here 1 month, so like June, July, and it's slowly going down. It's still higher, it's still got a higher level of people coming onto the market than exiting. So it is supply and demand. I always talk about that. And at the moment, maybe over the next 2 to 3 months, that demand might just sort of go higher in terms of using recruitment agencies. Now, using tech as a whole is a good example. However, moving forward into 2024, I have no course. I have nothing to sell you. So I'm going to be brutally honest. Probably for the first 6 months, it's not going to be as good. Yeah. It's going to be pretty much the same. Nothing's going to change. It's a hard market. There's not much demand. We're in December now. Only certain sectors are doing well. January might be very slow. Companies are scared to hire. They're reducing their workforce rather than bringing it higher. If they are, the salaries aren't there, so it's hard to attract the people. And also, hiring budgets are on a freeze. HR is suffering. So the three hardest sectors to recruit in now is talent acquisition. So there's no need for internal recruiters because they're not having massive hiring sprees. Also technology. And I would say pretty much, maybe there's another one, I can't remember. I don't want to name something and it be wrong. But off the top of my head, those two are the ones that are suffering. I think finance was the third one. So they're the three sectors that are really bad to recruit in at the moment. Yeah. However, they're really good to recruit in when the market's doing well. So going back to the question, what's it going to look like 2024? First 6 months is going to be rough. So what do you do? What's the question? What's the end result? Should you start an agency? Like I said, I don't have any course, nothing to sell you. I'm not here to convince you, just relaying the information that I know. You can look at the OBS data and see the redundancies, or not redundancies. You can look at the ONS data, look at the redundancies, look at the unemployment in the UK, whatever country you're in. If you're in the US, Bureau of Labour Statistics, look those up. And if you want, obviously ONS data pretty much states that the cost of living is going to be worse next year and possibly the year after. So that means people are going to be struggling, companies aren't doing as well, they're not going to be spending as much, likelihood of a recession hitting next year could be high. These are just things you need to be prepared of. So what do you do? What can you do? You want to start an agency, or you've started an agency and you're in tech. What should you do? Well, the number one thing you can do is change sector or start in a sector. Yeah. There are some sectors that are quote unquote recession proof. Yeah. And what I mean by recession proof is they still need staff. Number one, healthcare is a good one to look at. You could also look at education. Anything government funded could be good. And for the reason being is the money will always be there. Vital services. I find it very hard to explain what the sector is in one word, but I'll explain it and you know what I mean. Where there is a demand for on the ground labor, that's what you should be recruiting for. Yeah, I'll give you an example. I could say blue collar, but it wouldn't make sense. So a nurse needs to be on site. Yeah, a laborer needs to be on site. They're the ones that you need to be recruiting for. A mechanic, any job you can't work from home, maybe. That's how I would put it. Could be a good one. These office job work from home, forget it. Yeah, because they can be filled either overseas. They can be done by one person, 2 jobs. Yeah, if you're in high level sales, you're in senior management, you will know as well, this is what happens in recessions. You've got a team of 8 people and you've got to cut corners, you've got to cut costs. So you let 4 people go. And then suddenly you end up making pretty much the same amount of money with those 4 people instead of 8. And you realize that you were just wasting resources, time, money, where you should have been putting it into the top billers. And that's what's going to happen. Recruitment agencies are going to reduce their numbers. And the good thing is there's a market cleanse. I call it a cleanse. The market is happening. Well, it's happening right now. The cleanse to me happens. I've been through many cleanses. It gets rid of the bottom feeders, the people that are just surviving in recruitment. Yeah. And they haven't done too well. And they're sort of just order takers. They got lucky with a few placements here and there. They're working at a company or companies that have over leveraged themselves. Yeah, they've hired loads of staff. I couldn't tell you the amount of useless people that have said to me, Kaj, you don't really have a business. It's just you by yourself recruiting. I have support staff. However, the funny story is I had 2 people tell me that and both of them are out of business. They say you need to hire staff, blah, blah, blah. No, those days are gone, man. Yeah, this is the solopreneur world. Do it yourself, get it done, keep costs low. If a recession happens, who cares? Running costs is already paid for. I paid for the next 6 years of my recruitment agency. It's done. There's nothing more for me to do or spend on. I can survive. I can thrive in a bear market or low market. It's not a problem. But if you over leverage, hired 6, 7 staff and suddenly they're not billing, yeah, you got a problem in your hands. Yeah, your company's bleeding money. And to put it bluntly, people that tell me that don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, and they never had a successful agency. And like I said, 2 people I know used to bang on and say that to me all the time, and they're out of business. So don't listen too much to other people. It's all good when the sun's shining. Yeah, everyone wants to tell you what to do. But when the rain comes, it's different. But again, without rain, you need sunshine. And the sunshine will come. Be prepared for it. Yeah. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. If I'm half wrong, or if I'm half right, doesn't matter. Just be prepared. Pick a good sector. Pick somewhere where you can get your feet in the, under the table. Yeah. Put some food on the table. And then you can feast later on. All the best. And take care. Oh yeah, one more thing before I let you all go. Yeah, I'm on TikTok now, so I'll leave the link in the description. Have a look there. I don't know if I'm going to grow the account or whatnot, but have a little look and we'll take it from there. All the best. Take care.